Most records these days are made with copy and paste and computers. You don't get many bands playing together. Everything seems to be pieced together, and we try to avoid that because that goes against the whole thing.
For me, Mother Superior just had this pure essence of like early 70s American rock music, which is what I grew up on.
We were kind of out of touch, fortunately. Like when everybody was into Pearl Jam and say Nirvana, we were listening to Humble Pie and Free and going, well, these guys were the real deal.
There was nobody playing rock music then or now like this. Like when I first became aware of them in the late 90s and they hit my radar, nobody was playing rock music.
We all came from that same school, old school, I guess.
I'm a rock kid. I learned how to play guitar listening to, you know, Kiss and the Ramones and Ted Nugent and Aerosmith. I come from that world of rock music. AC/DC is my favorite band.
Well, I grew up on that type of music, so I would always consider myself more of a rock drummer. I grew up with the Zeppelins, the Sabbaths, and Thin Lizzies and all that.
Really struck a chord in us, because we're kids of the 70s. Early to mid 70s is when we first were teenagers growing up listening to music, and this really has some deep roots in that. And that's where Jim comes from as well.
It's always powerful. It always is. Watching Jim, it's completely genuine and real.
It's classic rock and roll to me. Guitars, bass, and drums with great vocals.
With a lot of swagger, you know, just fucking right in your face, just fucking guitar rock.
This song reminds me of you and all the things that we used to do. The time that you went away and how it broke my heart.
I first discovered Mother Superior when Rollins put out the Get Some Go Again record. He changed bands, and I love that record, and it's a noticeable change in sound.
We're a power trio. We did 10 records together. Scott used to come to our shows all the time.
I read an interview with Henry, and he was talking about this band called Mother Superior from Los Angeles, and what a huge fan he was, and he's like, I want them to be my band. Like, that's the new Rollins band.
Through the years, you know, things changed. Members came and went. Scott just missed the Mother Superior songs.
My 50th birthday present to myself was I wanted to play a Mother Superior set at the jam room at my house, because the band's been gone for years and you're never gonna get to see it again. And, you know, Pearl was throwing me all these 50th birthday parties.
I threw him 4 parties, by the way, because it's Scotty and he turned 50 and it's a big deal.
And I said, let's have a party at the house and let's do a Mother Superior concert in the jam room. Let's make, like, we could make that happen.
And we invited, 20 of our best, closest friends, the people who we know love the music too. And we did a Mother Superior concert.
So Scott said, I'd love to get John and Joey and me and you to play the songs, and Scott made a list of his favorite 12 songs and said, these are the ones we're gonna do. And it was totally just for fun.
I could have picked 30 songs, and so I just kind of had to focus it down to cherry picking what I felt like, my dirty dozen, let's say.
We never played together until the day before the party. We went to Scott's place and we had a rehearsal, and from the very first, I know it's totally stereotypical to say it's that old thing where like, oh, we got in a room and it sounded like a band, but we got in a room and it sounded like a band.
We did like one rehearsal, learned the songs, and it was everything I wanted it to be and more. Like, I knew it was gonna be a fun and a cool night, but I didn't know it was gonna be like this thing. It's so cheesy, but there was really something in the air.
And we played these songs again, and people were like cheering like it was a concert, and people were getting emotional because they hadn't heard the songs in a while.
In that little jam room with 20, 25 people hanging out watching it, the energy was insane, and we were so into what we were doing.
And by the end of the night, we were, all sloppy on top of each other, like, the world needs to hear this.
It was right after that. I remember saying to Pearl, that night or the next day, saying, we should we should make a record. This should be an album.
Yeah, it was definitely a special night. From that moment forward, we all agreed that this had to be done, you know, and try and capture that same vibe and mood, of course, which is why we're recording everything live.
As long as we could do it in this particular way, which we're doing now, which is, it's basically recording everybody live. We're trying to redo or recreate what we had done at the party.
It just lends itself to recording live, like say AC/DC would, or you know, any band like that.
We'll just be vibing off each other, and that's what makes it fun. Instead of like, you know, as like a regular recording, you know, everybody does their thing separately, but live, it's going to be exciting, man.
The songs that Scott picked are going to be the songs that are on the album.
I don't know what draws you to it. It's something about these songs are the ones that move me the most of their catalog, for sure.
For me, I just always love these songs, and we're re-recording what we think are his best songs.
He's such an expressive guy and expressive songwriter, and every song from me just really, they're so visual, and sonically they really just put you somewhere.
You know, we wished more people had heard of this band. We just felt very frustrated that they couldn't get you know, maybe the bigger record deal or get better distribution, and more people didn't know about them.
All my favorite bands from the 70s and 80s weren't big radio bands. They were maybe album rock bands when you had stations like that, but Iron Maiden didn't have any hit radio songs, and it didn't hurt them, so.
I never really knew when the next time I was going to play these songs was going to be. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, we're kind of making like revised breath of fresh air version. Scott brings a little metal to the band, you know, he brings the heaviness. And there's a little bit of, oh, you're gonna play that loud? Okay, well, now I'll turn it up a little too, you know?
It went from a rock to a boulder.
Scott's wife Pearl is doing background vocals, and she's a kick-ass singer, so we're gonna be able to make it sound more powerful than the record, but totally live, you know.
I just want to hear Jim sing the songs. I just want to hear Jim, and if I can add a little color with, you know, some harmonies here and there, then that's fun for me, and I love to sing, and I love to sing with Jim. But sometimes Jim will say, oh, maybe you should take this verse, and I'll go, no, that's you. I'll hang in the back with the tambourine and sing ooh and ah, you know.
I guess the main difference is Mother Superior was a trio, so now there's 4.
They went from a 1-guitar band to a 2-guitar band. And I feel like Jim loves it because he tells me all the time how great it is to have that second guitar there when he goes for a solo.
Anytime that I would overdub guitar stuff in the studio, now it's coming at us live, like, you know, boom.
You are to blame for the decision. Don't be surprised by my reaction.
It just adds muscle. The energy that the rhythm section is now bringing.
I think it's a good combination, and I love playing with John. We've done several projects together. We just have a great connection without talking about anything, which is the best thing for a bass player and a drummer.
I bring a lot of energy to it as well and play hard, so break a lot of sticks.
We've been rehearsing a few days now for these recordings, and I tell the guy, you know, just play what you play, and if it gets a little crazy, then that's cool too.
It's that same energy every time this group plays together. There's something really special and amazing and rad about this group playing together. With Johnny's energy on the drums, and Joey's talent, Scott's talent, Jim's magic, it just works. And the fact that everybody's such great friends and everybody loves it so much, you know?
We have the right band, we have the right studio, everybody that's here is friends. It's just, we're having fun. That's the most important thing.
We're just glad that we're able to do this kind of stuff. Like, you know, pretty fortunate that this actually happened.
The way this came about was just that Scott and I are such huge dorky fans of the music and Jim, and the music is too good to not be played forever.
We think the world needs to know about this, and like, the whole thing just kind of came full circle. Pearl and I looked at each other the other day with like our favorite band for the last 14 years, and we're in the band now. It's pretty trippy.
Most people are going to love it just as much as we do. They just maybe haven't heard of it yet. So this is an opportunity.
To be able to breathe some new life into these songs is like, you know, I've been waking up every day going, let's do it. You know?
Fuck yeah. Unfucking believable.